This is the makeup lecture for CS5229. In this lecture, I will introduce you to Tcl, a scripting language, Tcl, an object-oriented extension to Tcl, and NS2, a popular network simulator based on Tcl and C++. You will be using NS2 for your next assignment. The lecture will be posted online as a series of short videos. In this first video, I will introduce Tcl. Tcl is a scripting language, just like Ruby, Python, Perl, which you might be familiar with. A program written in Tcl is a script consists of a series of commands. The commands are separated by semicolon and new line. So in this example, we see three different commands. Each command consists of a series of words separated by white space. The first word is always the name of the command. This tells Tcl how to evaluate the command. The remaining words are arguments to the commands, which will be passed into the procedure that executes the command for processing. A script can be stored in a file, which can then be passed to the Tcl interpreter for interpretation. So if you have a script called, say, test.tcl, to execute the script, you just pass the file name to the Tcl interpreter called Tcl shell. Now Tcl, like many other scripting language, also provides an interactive shell. In the interactive shell, we can type in commands which Tcl will evaluate, and the result of the evaluation is then printed on the screen. So let's take a look at some examples. So the simplest Tcl command is called set. So set basically takes in two arguments. The first is a variable name, and the second is the value which you want to assign to the variable. So if I say set a1, the first word set is the name of the command, a and 1 are the arguments, and this argument will be passed to set, which will interpret it as I set the value of the variable a to 1. Another useful command is expression, or expr. This allows us to compute simple mathematical functions like addition, subtraction, multiplication, etc. So if I say expression of 1 plus 2, this will just return me the value of 3. Another simple and useful command is putS, or put string. What this command does is it expects a string as an argument, which it will then print onto the screen. So if I say putS hello, it will just print hello, and if I say putS of 1, it will just print 1 onto the screen. Note that here, even though 1 is a number, it is treated as a string in Tcl. In fact, in Tcl, everything is a string. Now, a command is interpreted in two steps. First, it performs some substitutions on the words in a command. After substitution, the arguments will then be passed to the procedure named by the name of the command for evaluation. There are two common types of substitution done in Tcl. The first type is called variable substitution. If we have a variable a, then $a will be substituted with the value of variable a. Let's look at an example. Suppose I have the following command: expression $a plus 1. So in the first step, Tcl will substitute $a with the value of a. So remember, previously we set a to 1, so $a will be replaced by 1, and then Tcl will just evaluate expression of 1 plus 1, which gives us the value of 2. The second type of common substitution is command substitution. To do a command substitution, we enclose a command in a square bracket. When Tcl encounters square brackets, he will execute the command within the square bracket and substitute the whole thing with the result after evaluating or executing the command. Now note that just like before, a will be the name of the command, bcd will be the argument of the command, and you will pass the procedure that to execute the command, and the return result will replace this whole thing here. For example, suppose Tcl encounter the command set c square bracket expression $a plus 1 close square bracket. Tcl will first replace $a with 1. This is a variable substitution just like before, and then it will then execute the command expression of 1 plus 1, and which evaluates to 2. So this whole command will be substituted with 2, and the command set c of this whole thing will become set c of 2. So my variable c will have the value 2 after the command is executed. Now, when Tcl encounter a double quote at the beginning of a word, Tcl will treat everything until the next double quote as a single word. In other words, the white space, or in fact the semicolon, the new line, etc. within the double quotes will be treated as ordinary characters rather than special characters that delineate words or commands. Substitution is done on the characters between the quotes. So, for example, if I have a command set c double quote $a $c, Tcl will first perform substitution on $a and $c. We will get the following: set c quote 1 and 2, and therefore my variable c will now have the value of 1 space 2. If the first character of a word is an open curly bracket, then Tcl will treat everything until the next closing curly bracket as one word. But unlike double quotes, Tcl will not perform any substitution within the curly bracket. So if we have the following command, set c curly bracket $a$c close curly bracket, this whole thing will be treated as a single word without substitution and will be set as the value of variable c. So in short, if you see curly bracket, no substitution. If you see double quote, things inside the double quotes are being substituted. Okay, let's see how this works in practice. Let's suppose I say set x to y. So the value of x is the string or the character y. Now if I say set $x0, what do you think will happen? Ticker will first substitute $x with y, and therefore this command is the same as saying set y to 0. So let's see if what happens if I now print out the value of y. It will say 0, just as expected. Okay, let's look at another example. Let's say I set a to 1 and set b to 8. Now if I say set c to expression of a plus b, what will the value of c be? Right, so just like before, $a will be replaced by 1, $b will be replaced by 8. This becomes expression of 1 plus 8, which evaluates to 9, and so this expression is equivalent to set c of 9. So the value of my variable c will be 9. Let's see what happens if I say expression of $a, $b, and I put this in double quotes. So since this is in quotes, Ticker will just treat these as ordinary words rather than name of the command. So $a will be replaced by 1, $b will be substituted by 8, and this whole string expression space 1 space plus space 8 will be assigned as value of c. Let's see what happens if we assign c to curly bracket of expression $a plus $b. Now since we put this in curly bracket, Ticker will not perform any substitution, and therefore the value of c will be assigned to exactly this string expr space $a space plus space $b without any substitution. So if I put s of c, and this is what we get as expected. Now, using curly bracket and quotes carefully is needed, especially if we are passing in arguments to commands that control the execution of the code. So suppose I have a command, Ticker has a command called while, and suppose I have a code that says while b is bigger than 1, set b to expression of b minus 1, put s of b. Now let's see what this command while is supposed to do. While takes in two arguments. The first is the condition, right? And the second is what to execute if the condition is true, or while the condition is true. So we will keep executing this as long as the condition holds, right? Just like what we normally do with while loops in other languages. So if I execute this, I will see 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just as expected. Now using a curly bracket here is important because tickle wants the command while to interpret the condition. If instead I use quote, double quote in my code here, then what will happen is that tickle will first evaluate this, which becomes, since b is 8, this will become while 8 larger than 1. And since 8 is always larger than 1, this code will be executed continuously. So what we get is we will get an infinite loop. So let's see if this is true. Oh, I forgot I have set b to 1, so let me reset back b to 8. And let me show you this again. Yep, we get into an infinite loop. So this concludes the first part of this video series on tickle, OTickle, and NS2. So I have introduced to you some basic syntax for tickle, how tickle scripts are interpreted, two common types of substitution, variable substitution and command substitution, and the use of double quotes and curly brackets.